Hey, I'm Sean.
I'm Eli.
I'm Nicholas.
And I'm Kevin, and we are Walk the Moon from Cincinnati, Ohio.
I actually knew Kevin when we were little. Our parents were friends in high school, and so we grew up as family friends. And Kevin played in bands with Sean growing up in Columbus, and I met Eli playing in bands in Cincinnati. The band name is partly in reference to the Police. They have that song "Walking on the Moon." And it just kind of felt like a good fit. The Cincinnati music scene, I guess it was something that I didn't. I don't know. Cincinnati is a place where there's lots of different neighborhoods, and a lot of the suburban kids stay out in the suburbs and stuff. So I had to, and I was one of those kids as well. So I started going to shows around the college area, around UC, University of Cincinnati, and downtown. And so I realized quickly once I started doing that there's a really rich music scene in there, and I guess it was. I found it to be a really supportive environment. Lots of indie bands, lots of creative people, and that's how I met Eli. He had a fantastic band in Cincinnati as well. We kind of stole him from, and yeah. Um, well, this is our first record with a label. So I guess this time we got to work with a really fancy producer and in a fancy space, and so those were some fun, fun new attributes of this experience. Before we'd done it, on our own with some people we knew in town, and it didn't really have a whole lot of a budget. So this time we got to mess with some bells and whistles, and the producer Ben Allen. It's a guy from Atlanta who's done a lot of amazing things, like Animal Collective, their Merriweather Post Pavilion record, and Gnarls Barkley, and even Christina Aguilera and stuff like that. So he brought a lot of magic to the whole experience.
Oh boy. Well, let's see. Growing up, I was like a huge '90s rock fan, Pearl Jam and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Soundgarden and stuff like that. That was like the first music I kind of discovered on my own, and then started listening to like funk music, and that's how I got into playing guitar and drums. And as for now, I'm just listening to absolutely everything I can get my hands on. I just love the alternative music scene as a whole. I think there's a lot of really good stuff that's kind of crossing over into like the popular music world. So I really like Little Dragon, especially. That's one of my big favorites right now.
Yeah, I started playing piano when I was little, and grew up listening to my parents' records like Jimi Hendrix and Santana and America and Simon and Garfunkel and stuff like that. Nowadays, we kind of, I don't know, we have a lot of stuff that we all bump in the van because we're with each other at all times. So Little Dragon's great. I really like Fleet Foxes and Local Natives as well.
I think one of the really cool things about this band is that everyone's really coming at it from a different place, and we don't necessarily have a whole lot of shared musical heritage. I grew up listening to a lot of Dave Matthews and then Metallica and then Pink Floyd, and then I studied jazz for 4 years, which is obviously like completely different from the last two answers that you've gotten. And Sean, Sean introduces me to a lot of new stuff, and Sean's the type of guy that like, we'll be. I'm sorry about my phone. We'll be like jamming, and Sean will be like, we can do like a Little Bo Peep and the Beat Boys thing here, and I'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? And like this thing that was a monumental reference for him just means absolutely nothing to me. So that happens relatively commonly, and I think we're all better for it, for that kind of rich musical heritage that we get in combination with each other.
Man, you don't know Bo Peep and the Peep Boys? Yeah. Right. Well, I guess I got started like Nick on piano. Then like my friend had a drum kit. I don't know around the time I was like 10 or 11 or something, and I started playing like a Green Day song, and I was like, yeah, forget the piano. I'm playing drums now. And yeah, I grew up like I actually listened to Metallica too, and like was in a lot of like Metallica cover-ish bands in high school. But yeah, like now I'm yeah. I can't even like think of any of the music I'm listening to now, which is weird because I can like usually like name like 10 bands on a dime, but I'm just completely. I've been spacing for the last like four people, so I think it's just because I'm hungry. Yeah.
One thing that I want to say is that we are a big fan of like the Cincinnati music scene that's going on right now. There are bands there that we really love, like Shadow Raptor and Pomegranates, who just put out a new record, as did the Bad Veins, just put out a really great record on Modern Outsiders. So we really like to stay connected to the Cincinnati scene through listening to their music.
I think it like really just depends on like the crowd and like the people at the venue. It doesn't really matter if it's like a tiny venue or a small venue. Like we played in Lawrence, Kansas last night to like a crowd. Like we've never played there before. Like most of the people hadn't seen us before. It was like a great crowd, and they were all like really like happy to be there. And like those are the venues that I like playing. When people are just excited to be there. It's my favorite.
Yeah, we're going on tour at the end of the summer with Neon Trees, and we'll also be out with Fun in September and October in Europe, which is blowing our minds right now. And you can find us online at walkthemoonband.com and on Twitter at walkthemoonband.
And Facebook.com. Facebook.com/walkthemoon.
Yes.